Afternoon, everybody. I'm here with my buddy, Mr. Stephen Cox, mechanic. How do I hold this camera level-ish when I'm doing this?
You know, but too tall.
Yeah. And today we're taking a look at the Woodward Fab pipe and tubing manual bending thing. Now, one of the great things about these benders is they're fairly affordable. This one, I want to say, was somewhere in the $230 range. Oh man, we have to assemble this thing? Okay.
We got it together.
Are you kidding me? I don't have time for this. Alright, well, I expected to run some nuts and bolts, but when you open the box and there's like raw, oil-soaked steel in there. What have I got myself into?
Let's not do any research before we buy stuff.
Alright, so the way this thing works is you buy the bender itself. It doesn't come with any dies. Already.
It's going to be raw material that you have to turn down yourself.
Raw material.
For the crayon picture. So it's like this if you want bendy like this.
So this whole thing is 230 bucks. And this, the dies are like roughly 200, like 150 to 200 depending on the size. So it's kind of like, if I had to guess, at Woodward Fab's business model, it's kind of like you give someone the razor and then you sell them the blades for it. $230, like 150 plus.
It's not 2-inch pipe.
You're right, that's not 2-inch pipe. Where the frig is the 2-inch pipe die that I ordered?
So let's do zero research.
This, I at least researched just dies in the thing. Oh man, well, I have a bunch of 2-inch pipe in the back of the shop. I'm like, well, I'm gonna use the 2-inch pipe, so I'm gonna have to spend more money on this. Because I'm already giving away like pretty much everything I'm making on Patreon this month in this. And so I'm like, oh, well, at least I won't have to buy pipe. What the hell, man? Ah! Woodward Fab WFB2 tube and pipe bender. Assembly instructions. List of shit you get. The way you assemble the shit. All right, here.
Pickers!
It looks like it just kind of goes together. All right. Well, let's just stare at it until we can figure out how it goes together.
Okay.
I did not find the pipe, I did find his hose.
Where are we going?
So I'll talk about it, get in the truck.
Y'all ready for this? Come on, Chucky, no dancing for the techno. There's a tractor techno.
I did not think this through clearly. Overall, I like this thing. I like the versatility and the functionality. However, I have to say, using one of these, I can't remember the technical term off the top of my head, but basically this is what you put on the end of a coolant pump on a mill or a lathe or something. Using this as a pointer, because what it does when it's not breaking off of the end of it here, this is the way it works. You set it up like this and it would be indicating 70 degrees. Using this as a pointer is A, partially genius, and B, probably one of the most hacked, rigged things I've ever seen in my entire life. And coming from me, that is saying something. However, it's also partially genius. Honestly, I don't know what to say about that.
But if it works.
Evidently it does seem to work. Man, you can't, 230 bucks or whatever for this thing, or 250. You can't build this for that. It looks like dimensionally it's solid. You know, it's nicely cut. Like I said, if I was gonna build this, I would go and buy like a $90 stick, you know, a long flat stick of this flat bar, and it would cost me like probably 20-30 bucks to make the trip, round trip. And then, you know, you add in some wear on your angular cutters and the time it takes to design all this thing. This would probably cost like, its shop rate, $600 to $1,200 to design and build. And the fact you can get that for 250 bucks shipped or whatever is really quite remarkable if the thing works. Now I know anytime you say something like that, you hear from a bunch of people who are like, I'm gonna build that for less! Really, man, I mean, the value seems to be pretty outstanding, again, if it works.
Let me get on outside and hold it.
Yes, please go hold my pipe. All right. Okay, so we got this jankety bolt which doesn't really fit this hole, but it's the one that came with it and it was actually in this hole, so we'll get that in there so it's holding this, and it actually seems to be lining up pretty decently.
You should grow a beard.
Thanks for that, Steve. It's tensioning. I think this thing is working. Oh, check it out. You got this nice ratcheting thing. Yeah. Can you see that?
Yeah.
You just take another tooth or two with every pass, and then they give you this piece of like raw, unfinished steel to use as a handle, which I want to make fun of, but it actually works quite well. All right, dudes, it's friggin' working. It's friggin' working, man.
We should have.
Oh, you want to mess with the jankety ass? All right, so new problem. What the hell do we do from here? Because we're out of ratchets on our thingamajigger.
So you move this up one hole.
Oh, Steven, yes! Okay. Steven, no! Oh, I see what we do. We pull this pin, and now move it. And now we put this pin through here.
There you go.
Yeah, dude, this friggin' works, man. It's actually kind of remarkable how well this thing works. Here, Steve, come try this thing out. Or actually, here, hang on. Let me put like one chooch of tension on it. Yeah, you just get that in like that. And then it's actually an amazing force multiplier. And it friggin' works. Dudes, that's like 90 plus degrees of bend. Steve, what do you think?
I like it, man.
And not only does it, I'm sorry to cut you off there.
I've had several occasions where I needed like, some pipe just like this or some DOM or something bent to do, and the only thing I've ever had is like you stick it in a vise, you bend it over and it bends it, but it looks like and it kinks it all to hell. And
this is a smooth bend. I don't know, obviously we like scratch to finish here, and this is our first time ever using this thing.
Yeah, if we were to put some like WD-40 on the outside or some oil or something, it would have slipped through that a lot easier.
Yeah, and look at that, on the inside it's not crinkled or wrinkled or deformed or anything, just the paint's a little dicked up. That's actually quite remarkable. It's like I said, I would not want to do a large amount of pipe bending with this thing, but shoot, if you do, odd jobs, general fabrication type stuff, and you have to do like a bend or two here or there. Let's say you have a tractor like this hunk of junk, and you're gonna build a little handrail for the front of it. Look at that, that's 1 bend, 2 bends, 3 bends, 4, and you're done. And I mean, this would be perfect for that type of stuff. And it'll work with larger, it'll work with larger tubing as well. I don't know off the top of my head, but I'm sure it's listed somewhere. And the construction of this, it looks like something that was shop built. If I was gonna build my very own tubing bender, this is what I would aspire for the thing to come out looking like. And I mean, it needs a little paint, but who cares? It's got brass bushings, it's got nicely machined pins.
Yeah, I like the pins, man. That little added detail on the end just makes it look a lot nicer.
It does, and they're very comfortable to grab. It's easy to get a good grip on these things, even when they're all greasy and nasty. They're CNC cut, but those are probably some of the cleanest CNC cuts I've ever seen. And it all fits together. We had no issues putting this together. Only required a little bit of profanity and a couple looks at the manual. But it's together, and it friggin' works. And this thing is somewhat functional, but it friggin' works, man. It was 250 bucks approximately. And honestly, man, I think you totally get your dollar's worth out of this thing. And there's a very good chance I'm going to consider setting some money aside and buying one of these things for the shop myself. It's amazing. Yeah, it looks a little rough. You got like raw steel coming out of this thing and plasma cuts that still have the slag on them. And then you got this stuff, and it all fits together. Like, how much more perfect could you expect out of something like that? It's just, I've never seen anything like it, but overall, I really like it.
I like it too.
Cool, man. All right.
If I actually get a shop, I might actually.
Yeah, buy one of these things. All right, hit it harder, Steve. It'll end the video.